we impact other people, whether we
Yes.
realize it or know it. We do impact other people in our daily life. You can't just say, I'm an individual and I can do anything I want.
Yeah.
You can, but within a guideline, a structure, whether it be morally, whether it be faith, or whether it be by, some other
just
thing.
human decency, just respect for one another, and we've lost all of that.
I always say we need to learn how to agree to disagree.
Yay.
I made it.
Welcome.
Hey, Gayle. Mwah, mwah, mwah. That's my girl.
All right.
Oh, you know something? Gayle is the best. You won't believe what happened. Okay, she doesn't like for me to talk good about her, but I'm going to talk good about her to her face. What was so interesting was we were members of another Amy Roloff fan club, right?
Oh, yeah. And
naturally, when you're wanting a pleasant experience, and I personally was noticing there was so much, bickering and negativity. And I don't know, I can't remember, Gayle, how you and I connected, but somehow we did, and we befriended each other, and we had a lot in common spiritually and other things. And she said, Bunny, I'm thinking about starting another group. And the first thing that came in my mind was that I'm definitely going to join. She asked me if I would. We were the first two. We were in there by ourselves for the longest. And another thing, but then when she asked me, I want you to help me to administrate it. And I had just lost my father in February. And so there was a whole lot going on. I said, I don't know if I serve in that capacity. I like to use the word serve because to me, it was the honor that Amy was due. If I served in that capacity, I would want to give myself where I could actually be a help, not only to what we feel Amy represents, but to Gayle, because I thought, well, at least it's a good idea. So I said, okay, I relented and I said, okay, I'll help you out in the light. I'm so glad I did. And
we are too.
One of the things I noticed about Gayle doesn't play, all right? When she says no cussing, which I agree with, when she says no spam, I'm the type, okay, let's at least send them a note. Let's not kick them out, whatever. You better make sure that the cross is on your side when you're dealing with Gayle, because she does not want Amy Roloff to look bad, all right? And so,
I'm not perfect.
But let me tell you, I am so glad she did.
Yeah.
Because it kept things at such a wholesome level. So then one day,
it's respectful.
It's respectful.
Yeah.
And so one day we were typing something, I forgot what it was, and this lady named Lisa Dixon responded to it. I had no clue.
Who is Lisa?
As much as I would see her on the episodes.
I'm just the friend. I don't really have a name.
No, but I didn't get the connection at first.
Yes, you do have a
name.
name.
And then all of a sudden it was like, boing. Oh my God, this is, when I called Gayle, Gayle, Lisa Dixon, she's on my page, Lisa Dixon said, this is one of the best fan clubs she's ever seen. And it was like, it just went on from there. And I'm the type, I will get in touch with you. I didn't have a problem with getting in. I've lived with high profile people all my life. So I didn't have the inhibitions on reaching out to Lisa or anybody else for that matter. And so it has been, let me tell you, Amy, you've got a wonderful friend. I mean, when God blesses you
thank you.
with that type of friendship, it is a gift that cannot be replicated.
Yeah.
And it's, but I just have to give my kudos to Gayle Louise, because she, we both have standards. But I can understand now, especially with all of the negativity that was going on in other groups in the name of, whether it be Amy Roloff or Tori or Zach or whomever, you know, the whole family. You kind of needed that firmness first to set the ground rules, because other people will come in thinking that it's the same old, and will contaminate your page just like they would anybody else, you know. So anyway, I just had to throw that out. I had to give my kudos to Gayle.
Well, you know what? I think it also goes with the same saying, though. You become more of what you are or what you want to be or whatever it is by the people you surround yourself with. And if you continue to allow some of these things in, and I think that's why, you know, starting off with those ground rules, anything in life, it's amazing how that impacts your life in all other areas.
That's
And, you know, the old saying goes, I mean, if you surround yourself with people that just always criticize or always negative or just things are just never right,
That's right.
you begin to think, I'm never right. I'm not good enough. I don't do things well. And, you know, nobody's
and that narrative
perfect.
can actually reinforce
Yes.
your internal makeup. When we are born an empty canvas, and the world tends to paint onto us.
If we allow it.
If we there you go, girl. If we allow it. And anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No. That's women.
That's us.
Chris doesn't like that.
That is definitely us. That's truly us.
But it's easy. I mean, you know, I'm assuming y'all are faith-based then, right?
Yes. Yeah. You're right. We discovered that. Gayle and I discovered that in our conversations. And like, I was raised, my father was, before he became a university president, he pastored. We were, you know, raised in the church. We have a very, all of us are Christian, but we have a very interdenominational family, you know, go all the way from Pentecostal to Methodist to, you know, Catholic to, you know. But
that's what makes it interesting.
It does.
You know, because your family and a lot of our families dictate, you know, what's happening in society as well.
That's
you know,
true.
How do you find that common ground? Because there's always that core somewhere, and without going into these extreme tangents and stuff like that. But to me, it's, you know, I mean, we do our best, but I think if you have positive conversation and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Criticism that's constructive.
Yes.
You know, because the one thing I found out about social media, I still don't even know about social media. I'm doing my best to, you know, be a part of it. I'm amazed at what people say, not just towards me sometimes, but just in general. I mean, we even got a president. I'm like, what? But just people in general. It's like, would you really say something like this if you were face to face with someone?
Right.
That's right.
And you are amazed at why our society is the way it is. I mean, one of the things that I saw a comment, you know, on this whole protesting thing that's happening in the States and everything. And the one comment was, where's God? You know, where was God doing this and doing that and doing that? And because, you know, I don't think there's a God or anything. And my first thought was, oh, God's here. But my question to you is, where is he in you? Because
you better
starts
preach,
with
girl.
you.
You better go, girl. That is so good.
You know, it's like, we're always like blaming other people, but it's like, look at yourself. I mean, what are you doing? You're part of all of this.
Amy, you hit on something when you were saying how people will just say things, don't know you. We were not, I was telling Lisa last night, we were not high profile, as high profile as you were, but a lot of high profile people would come and reach out to my father for different reasons.
Yeah.
And our experience was, you know, we would wonder, where did they get this narrative from? Or where did this information isn't true? And no matter how much you would try, in some cases, how much you would try to reach out, to explain yourself, to try to connect, get an understanding, something that I learned that to never waste my time trying to explain who I am or what I mean to people who are committed to not understanding me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because they have this roadblock, they have this thing in front of them.
Yeah.
And no matter how you push or just to not necessarily agree with you, but just to maybe see and understand where you're coming from, so that you can have a better relationship or communication with someone. But yeah, some people are just, you know, that roadblock, that thing in front of them. And you're right. To me, it's like, hey, when you're ready, I'm here.
Yeah.
And to me, I always think of, you know, people say, where's God? It's like, well, God's here, but are you ready?
Yeah,
I mean, you've got to partake.
That's right.
Right.
That is so right. That's right. And that's
but no, social media was a very hard thing for me to get used to, because Lisa will probably agree with this. I'm sometimes my worst enemy, you know, in thinking, oh man, I did that terrible, this went wrong, and you know, all this other
like
stuff.
me, like I was feeling today.
No, but the thing is though, Bunny, we all were with you. I've been there, Lisa's been there, Gayle has been there, and we're like, man, how can we help her get going?
I didn't want to embarrass Gayle or the fan club.
No. That, and you know what, we call that drama.
Okay. Okay.
Right, Amy?
Yes,
Naveed can attest to that. We'll screw up royally on a Facebook Live or, you know, the Instagram, and Naveed goes, people love that.
Well, you know that you know what, Lisa, Gayle, and Amy, you know what you all just said makes me feel so better. I think about, there's a scripture, 1 Corinthians 10:13, that says, there is no temptation but such as is common to man. In other words, somebody has already experienced it.
Yeah.
But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted or challenged above that you are able, but will with that temptation make a way of escape that you may be able to bear it. Yeah. So it feels so good to know that you all have gone through this before.
And we'll continue to go through this. This isn't a one-time thing.
That's right.
So the thing with social media that I've found, and I've been working as admin in groups for 6 years now, social media is a really difficult place to converse well. It's very hard to get your point across well when text is your only, only method. And people often misunderstand, and you know, I've often had to backtrack and re-explain it in different ways so that people can understand it.
That's right.
The other thing is that many people come on, and the anonymity of the social media gives them this feeling of power. And like you said, Amy, I don't think these people would be treating you like that in person. No. Like they would never speak to the other person that way.
That's right.
They get passionate, they type away, and they don't think about how it's going to come across. And we forget that without the face and without the tone of voice, we lose a lot of the communication about what the intent is. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing, you know, why we've gone the way we have, is because we want people to have an opinion.
Yes.
And feel free to express it, but in a polite and respectful, as you said, Amy, way. We want the respect to be there for you as a person, not partly because you're Amy Roloff, but as a human being created in the image of God, you deserve that respect. We all deserve that respect.
Because I always look at it as like, what is it that I said or did that warrants some of the extremes, or anybody? Some of the extremes of what is being said out there in social media. Yeah. Like I always say, you know, we're blessed to live in the United States to some degree, you know, with all the freedoms and the rights and stuff we have. But it's like people, in my opinion, have to really understand we all have freedom, but freedom comes at a cost. You have,
Yes.
there's responsibility with that freedom. Yes, we have freedom of a speech, but that doesn't give you the right to say anything you darn well please.
Right.
Because if you're damaging someone, reputation or something like that, or so yes, you have an opinion, use it wisely, use it constructively, use it to help instead of just constantly tearing down. Because freedom to me comes with a choice. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, like all of them.
Absolutely.
And I'm just amazed how people just think that they can do willy-nilly and everything. And like this whole COVID thing we're going through, it's like, I hope it's some degree, but human nature is like, once it's all over, we'll forget about it. I think we've been in such a PC world, political correctness, which I'm never a fan of, because people are so afraid to talk about things because they might offend somebody. But if it's done with honesty and realness, because not everyone knows everything. But you know what? I lost my train of thought. I was going on with the whole PC thing. And oh yeah, this is what it was. Is that we impact other people, whether we realize it or know it. We do impact other people in our daily life. You can't just say, I'm an individual and I can do anything I want.
Yeah.
You can, but within a guideline, a structure, whether it be morally, whether it be faith, or whether it be by, you know, some other
just human decency, just respect for one another, and we've lost all of that.
I always say we need to learn how to agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's right. You can,
and
that's
then
right.
move on to, you know, building whatever we can.
Yeah, our friendship, I think, based on, you know, Amy and I, we're not yes people. If I say something to her and she doesn't like it, she tells me. And if I don't like something, I tell her. We're not.
Or we definitely know, because we'll stomp off and we're like, well, what's wrong with you?
But then we come right back and we agree to disagree. And that's how you manage and respect each other. People aren't all alike. And
that's right.